Today, I'm going to share with you IELTS listening strategies. Number one, approach, and number two, reason. First, approach. There are four sections, and you have time to read these four sections. Listening, reading, writing, and speaking. Four modules. In listening, there are four parts. So you have time to read the questions thoroughly before you listen to each recording. Take these parts one at a time. Why? Because it is difficult to concentrate or making sense of what you hear if you are trying to read the question and work out what is required at the same time. So read before you listen. Before you hear the recording, read through the task for each part and make sure you know what sort of answers you have to write. For example, letter, an option, or a box. Reason. Why? Because if you need to write something, you must spell the word accurately. Sometimes you may hear a word spelled out, so you need to know the sounds of the letter of the alphabet in English for multiple choice questions, or when you have to choose options from a box. You only need to write the correct letters as your answer. And before you hear the recording, use this time to work out the topic and decide what sort of information and answers you need to listen. Why? Because this means you do not waste time during this while the recording is playing. And use a pencil to underline keywords in the question. Keywords usually carry meaning and help you make sense of the questions. During the recording, use the words on the question paper to guide you through the listening. They act as anchors throughout the recording and stop you from getting lost. Remember, part one will have an example, but nowadays that example has been removed. And similarly, section 1, 2, 3, now they are called part 1, 2, 3, 4, part, not section. Similarly, there will be no page numbers. There will be no page numbers, but they will have a mid break. After, in the middle of each section, you will have a mid break, and when section 1 is over, you are given 30 seconds to check the answers and another 30 seconds to read the next question. So you will have that still. And this allows you to keep up and give you time to complete your answers. And if you have the keywords, they will function as anchors throughout the recording and stop you from getting lost. During the recording, you should write your answers on the question paper as you listen. Why? Because it is not possible to remember what you heard and complete the task from memory at the end. Because at the end, you have to transfer the answer to an answer sheet. In computer delivered test at the end of each section, and in paper-based test, you will have to transfer the answers at the end of the whole test. You should, during the recording, if you cannot answer a question, move on to the next one. You do not want to risk missing the answers to the next questions too. And then later on, you can make an educated guess. After the recording, transfer your answers onto the answer sheet carefully. Make sure you put the right answers in the right place and check your spelling. You have 10 minutes to do this in paper-based and 2 minutes at the end of each section in computer-delivered test. But you need to get going on this straight away. If you put your answers in the wrong place or on the answer sheet, you will lose marks. After the recording, go back to any questions you could not answer and try to guess the answers from the context. Why? Because you should attempt all the questions as a blank space can only be marked wrong. There's no negative mark. And after recording, make the most of questions in part 1 and 2, as these are easier and part 3 and 4 are difficult. So you can get 100% marks in part 1 and 2. And total marks are 40. There are total 40 questions, and then band score is given. So here, out of 40, your target should be 31 if you are targeting 7. If you target 9, it should be 40 out of 40. And it is possible if you practice and listening, understand the test, and then practice every day. 1 hour listening practice. That will be very helpful to you. Thank you very much.